everyone, Chivos here, bringing you another Hyundai A-League 2015-2016 fixture review for week 4 in the A-League. So, a lot of action going on this weekend, and the first game sees us, Newcastle Jets defeated Melbourne City 3-2. I could not believe this. I saw the result at halftime, the halftime score, and Melbourne City were winning 2-0. And then Newcastle Jets came from 2-0 down to win 3-2. So early goals from Moy and Mork obviously were not good enough to make the difference for City, as Newcastle had an amazing second half. A goal from Kantrovski and 2 from Trifunovic cancelled out the 2 from Melbourne City. Fornelli was unlucky not to score early on for Newcastle when his free header at the back post wasn't directed on goal. Ultimately, that could have thrown the game in Newcastle's favour, but it didn't. Melbourne City obviously dominated at the start of the game, but Newcastle Jets were too much to handle in the second half, and what a performance they put in. Melbourne City see themselves slump further down the table, and the funny stat about Newcastle is they have already obtained the same amount of wins this season as they did last season. So last season they had 3 wins, I think they had 8 draws. This year they've already got 3 wins, so Newcastle on a flyer under the new management and the new squad and the new back room. So excellent there from Newcastle, and you will see the league table later because it is hard to believe. The second game of the weekend saw Sydney FC beat Central Coast Mariners 3-1 away from home. Shane Smeltz started off the scoring for Sydney in the 34th minute, but the lead lasted no less than a minute after an instant reply from Central Coast. Fabio Ferreira carved through the Sydney right flank, took on 3 separate players before passing the ball to O'Donovan, who was in the box, and easily tapped in the ball to make it 1-1. Although the man of the moment was ex-Central Coast Mariner Matt Simon, who scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes against his former club to break their hearts. Matt Simon was a huge figure at Central Coast for quite a while. A problem with his, a personal problem I'll say, last year saw him really just leave the club in a bad fashion. But Graham Arnold said, "I'll pick you up, Matt Simon. You looked after me when I was a coach, and now it's my turn to do the favour." And funny that, because Graham Arnold actually said to the Central Coast Mariners bench when Matt Simon scored his second, "Thank you for giving us Matt Simon." Very weird. It was a very sarcastic comment. But Graham Arnold does have a point, because Matt Simon was the difference. His first goal was a good finish from inside the box, but his second goal was an exceptional header. You should have seen it. The ball's come in. He's just fired the ball past Paul Izzo, who was left helpless in goal. Nothing he could have done to stop that header from Matt Simon. But Sydney FC still see themselves on top of the table, and once again I will show you that in a minute. The third game of the weekend saw Brisbane Roar beat Adelaide United 3-0 at home, which continues their good start to the season. Brisbane Roar performing exceptionally well under John Aloisi, and Adelaide United having a poor start to the season. And obviously there's one huge factor with that, and that is the fact that Josip Gombau obviously left the club in the off-season after his FFA Cup win. He's moved, I can't remember where he moved, I think he moved to the Netherlands or something like that. But he's gone, Josip Gombau. It shows you how much a manager can mean to a club. Without Gombau, Adelaide United are struggling something chronic, and it is ridiculous. Adelaide United, FFA Cup winners. The inaugural FFA Cup, they won it under Gombau. He was so good for them, and obviously without Galikovic, they are really struggling. But Barallo opened up the scoring in the 9th minute after good build-up play from Matty Mackay and Thomas Broich, the 2 guys that run the middle of the pitch for Brisbane Roar. McLaren, I spoke about him in the pre-season. He added another goal to his tally 10 minutes from time by taking on Elrich and killing the ball past John Hall. It was a great finish. He's taken on Elrich, he's cut left, he's hit it with the left foot, and it's curled, theoretically, it's curled onto the back post nearly. It's just gone inside the back post. Lovely finish from McLaren, and it's good to see him scoring, especially considering he's getting football. And Ange Postecoglou, the Socceroos coach, was at the game scouting McLaren because he is potentially the next striker for Australia. That is a huge boost for the Socceroos. But Barallo added another goal to his tally in the 93rd minute, which makes him the top goal scorer of the league so far, sitting on 4 goals. I'll show you that in a minute as well. Once again, another poor performance sees Adelaide continue their terrible start to the season, and it does show that Josip Gombau was a huge part of Adelaide's success last year. The fourth game of the weekend saw Western Sydney Wanderers beat Perth Glory 1-0 at home, Parramatta Stadium, Pertex Stadium, whatever you want to call it. Western Sydney Wanderers won. I couldn't believe it. But it wasn't hard to see because Western Sydney Wanderers dominated majority of the play on the day. I watched the game and Perth Glory did not look like they were in it at all. Western Sydney bossed the game and they deserved the win. Theoretically, if they didn't come out with a win, they were robbed, but they did manage to get the win. Vidicic scored the only goal of the game in the 45th minute after a corner wasn't cleared by Perth Glory. Once again, you need to get rid of that ball as soon as you can. Whether you take it out for another corner or a throw-in, you need to get rid of that ball. It wasn't cleared, and Vidicic did. He took on a player and he shot and scored. So unlucky there. And Ante Kovic, I've said this already, he's old. He's older than 40. I don't really think he should be Perth Glory's number 1. I think they need someone a bit younger, a bit more flexible, and a bit faster than Ante Kovic. Don't get me wrong, he's a good goalkeeper, but I think there are other options out there for them. The win sees Western Sydney pick up their first win of the season, and it sees them finally off the bottom of the table. Who is on the bottom of the table? You'll find out very, very shortly. But Glory's defeat sees them have bad morale, and they couldn't ask for this worse because the next weekend sees the second ever FFA Cup final where Perth Glory will be taking on Melbourne Victory away at Amy Park. That is correct. Melbourne Victory, my team, in the FFA Cup final next weekend against Perth Glory. Will I cover that match? I don't know because I'll be on holiday. Oh, you'll see that in a video very shortly. But I am going on holiday, so I think I'm gonna have to watch the game while I'm on holiday. I don't think I have a choice. It is on the Saturday, I do believe, but I will let you know on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. There is a link in the description below. But the final game of the weekend was tonight. I have already put my review out for this game, but saw my team, Melbourne Victory, dominate. That is correct, dominate Wellington Phoenix 3-0 at Etihad Stadium. It wasn't at Amy Park, it was at Etihad Stadium, and it was just a demolition job. Could have been 6-1 theoretically, but chances didn't go exactly how they planned. But Barisha scored 2 goals, showing why he's a huge part of the Melbourne Victory squad. It shows what he's added to the squad. Obviously last year he helped Melbourne Victory win the Premier's Plate and the league, and this year I think he has a good chance of doing it again. And Kostas Barbarouses, man of the match, absolutely deserved it. What else can I say? He is an exceptional player. The young Kiwi, just 2 man of the match performances in 4 games. It shows you he is performing very, very well. But I will join you guys for the league table, which I'll bring up right now. And as you can see, Sydney FC are on top. That is correct. Sydney FC are on the top. 10 points for them. Brisbane Roar on 4 wins. 9 points for them. Newcastle Jets see themselves on 9 points as well. This is crazy. Last year they only ended up on like 17 points, and now they've got 9 already. So Newcastle Jets having a great start to the season, and obviously the new ownership, the new coach, and the new players is working out really well for them. My team, Melbourne Victory, see themselves in 4th position on 7 points, still 3 points from the top. We will get that gap back, I bet you. Wellington Phoenix drop into 5th position. What do you expect? They did lose to Melbourne Victory, but Newcastle Jets had the surprise win, which honestly surprised me. Melbourne City dropped into 6th position, 4 points, equal with Western Sydney Wanderers, who picked up their first win of the season, and that season won 4 points as well. Perth Glory slipped down to 8th position now, only having the 1 win so far, and obviously 3 points. Central Coast Mariners losing to Sydney FC. Matt Simon killing the dreams of Central Coast Mariners, but they're still on 3 points. They've still got to win. The only team not to pick up a win this year is Adelaide United, and no surprise, no Josip Gombau. They are really struggling. No Galakovic as well. So Adelaide United really feeling the pressure at the moment. They really need to kickstart their season. And as you can see on the screen here, which I've just made a mistake with, Brandon Barrow leads the goals with 4. Fornaroli, Trifunovic, Bessart Brisha, and Jamie McLaren all on 3 as well. So that is the review for this weekend's fixtures. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you're new to the channel or want to see more of this type of content, please subscribe. But my name has been Chivos, and I'll catch you guys on another Hyundai A-League video.